Good morning, students. So in the morning, we started with Unit 2, correct? And we read the half story. Now let us continue with the other half of the story in this class. Hey, Perry, Jakes laughed. Maybe you've got the gout. Hey. Yes, Jakes, replied Perry uncertainly. But as one grows old, legs get tired. You should teach the horse to place the milk bottles at the front door of your customers. Jake said to him, he does everything else for you. So it means Jakes was talking to Perry. Jake said, hey Perry, maybe you've got the gout. Gout means, yes, I've asked you to write all the glossary, so all the meanings are given over here. Let's check the meaning of gout. Gout means a disease. Correct. Any disease is called gout. So Jake said, Perry, you might have got the gout. Yeah. Maybe you've got the gout. Gout means a disease. As in when people get old, they get disease, correct? Yes, Jakes, replied Perry uncertainly. Uncertainly means he was not sure. He just said, yes, I might have got the disease. But as one grows old, legs get tired. Yes, legs get tired as one goes old. Correct. You should teach the horse to place the milk bottles at the front door of your customers. So what did Jake say? Jake said that Perry should now teach the horse to place the milk bottles at the door of the customers because Joseph does everything else for him, correct? He takes him to the house, he stops over there. So Jake said you should teach him to place the milk bottles also. One morning, the manager of the milk company came to inspect the early morning deliveries. Pointing out to Perry, Jack said to him, watch how he talks to that horse whom he calls Joseph. See the look in the horse's eyes. I think these two share a secret. Sometimes they seem to chuckle at us as they go off on their route in the morning. Perry is a good man, but he's getting old. Don't you think he should be retired and given a small pension? Of course, said the manager. He has been on this route for now 30 years, and not even once has there been a complaint against him. Tell him it is time he should rest. His salary will go on just the same. But Perry refused to retire. Perry did not want to retire. He could not bear the thought of not driving his Joseph every day. He said to Jakes, we are two old men, Joseph and I. Let us wear out together. Wear out means let us grow old together. Let us get tired together. When Joseph is ready to retire, then I too will leave. Jakes, who was a kind man, understood. There was something about Perry and Joseph which made a man smile tenderly. It was as though each drew some hidden strength from the other. When Perry was sitting in his seat and when Joseph was hitched to the wagon, neither seemed old. But when they finished their work, Perry would limp down the street, seeming very old indeed. The horse's head would also drop, and he would walk wearily to his stall. So what does this mean? It means that both of them, they had grown old, but they shared a very, very kind relationship. As if पेरी को एनर्जी मिलती थी, स्ट्रेंथ मिलता था जोसेफ से, and Joseph would used to get strength from Perry. So they had a very, very kind relationship amongst each other. And A man would smile tenderly. Tenderly means very, very soft smile. उनको देख के ऐसा आता है, naturally we smile. People used to smile looking at them. So when they were working, nobody seemed that they were old. They were working very, very fast. But as soon as they finished their work, both of them seemed very, very tired and very, very old. Then one morning, Jakes had a dreadful news for Perry. Dreadful means very, very bad news. He said, Perry, Joseph did not wake this morning. He was very old, Perry. You know he was 25, and that is like 75 for man. Yes, Perry said slowly. I am 75. Now I shall never see him again. My poor Joseph, which means Joseph had died. Jake patted Perry on the shoulder. We'll find another horse just as good as Joseph. Why, in a month's time, you'll teach him your route. Jake said, we'll find you another horse and you can teach him your route in a month's time. But he stopped when he looked into Perry's eyes. For years, Perry had worn a heavy cap, a peak of which came low over his eyes. Now, when Jakes looked into Perry's eyes, he saw something which startled him. Startled means he was amused, he was shocked. He saw a dead, lifeless look in them. The eyes were mirroring the grief that was in Perry's heart and in his soul. It was as though his heart and soul had died because Perry was very, very sad. So that is why when he heard that Joseph had died, Perry also was very lifeless. He was like dead. His heart and his soul had died. Take today off, Perry, Jake said. But before Jakes could complete his sentence, Perry was already limping down the street. Tears were streaming down his cheeks and he was sobbing. Before Jakes could complete, Perry already dropped down on the floor, on the street, and he was crying, he was sobbing. There was a warning yell from the driver of a huge truck that was coming fast. And there was the scream of brakes. But it appeared that Perry had heard neither. There was a truck coming from another side and he was blowing horns continuously and there was brakes screaming. There was noise of brakes, but Perry could not hear anything. The truck crushed Perry. 5 minutes later, an ambulance doctor said, he is dead. So that this is how Perry died. Jakes and several of the milk wagon drivers had arrived by then. They looked down at the still figure. I couldn't help it, the driver of the truck protested. He walked right into my truck. He never saw it, I guess. He walked into it as though he were blind. The ambulance doctor bent down. Blind, he said, looking into Perry's eyes. Of course, the man was blind. See those cataracts. This man has been blind for 5 years. Then he turned to Jakes and said, you say he worked for you? Didn't you know he was blind? No, Jake said softly. None of us knew. There was only one who knew. A friend of his named Joseph. Only Joseph knew that Perry was blind since 5 years. It was a secret, I think, just between those two. It was a secret between Joseph and Perry that Perry was blind since last 5 years. Correct. Now you have to write this glossary and all those words which are underlined in the text like this, protested, then startled. These meanings you have to find from the dictionary and write before the next class. Okay, so I want you to complete Unit 1 and Unit 2 till glossary and the meanings of the underlined words. Clear? So thank you, friends. This is all for today. Bye and have a nice day.